Are you crazy stressed? Do you want to beat it? The navigation of ruin is my story. It's how I went from having everything fall apart to really enjoying life again. What you're about to watch is actually a piece of my history and archive. I was doing my little feng shui thing where I was cleaning, and I found an external hard drive in a backpack. In that hard drive were all kinds of videos from when I used to teach, and I was so excited to find them. These particular videos are vintage 2014. And they were called Crazy Stressed Beat It. And it has a lot of techniques and secrets that I actually used when I was trying to heal through my period of extreme stress. I hope these videos help you too.
Welcome to Crazy Sun Yoga and Fitness. This is Crazy Stressed Beat It, and I'm Betty Lou Bhakti Susai Pillai. This is the first module, What is Stress? But before we get started, I wanted to talk about a few things. One of the things I wanted to talk about was I was listening to one of my favorite speakers, Marie Forleo, and she was talking about destructive thoughts. Two specifically destructive thoughts tend to prevent somebody from learning and internalizing lessons. One of these thoughts is, I know this already. And often when we say that to ourselves, we just stop any creative thinking in its tracks. What she suggested was instead, whenever you think that thought, then ask yourself this question: what can I learn from this? And a lot of times, even if you just ask that question, you see new ideas, even from things you already know. The other destructive thought that she talked about was, this won't work for me. And you know what? That's another thing. If you've already put it in your mind that something's not going to work for you, then it has no chance of working. So what she suggested was to ask yourself, how can this work for me? And a lot of times that just opens your mind to creative possibilities. One of the things that is so important is that you fully participate in this program. Listening and reading are just fine for regular learning, but if you really want to make an impact on your life and reduce stress, you have to do the action exercises. Answer all of the questions in the Beat It worksheets. Completely write everything down in detail. Also, you're going to have an experience of journaling and free writing. And if you've never free wrote before, I've got some directions in the bonus section. It's amazing how much it could help you explore your feelings and reduce stress. It is really vital that you do the exercises and practices included in this module. The first exercise are Dirga Swasana breaths, the relaxation breaths, and they are so easy to do. You can do them all throughout the day. The second exercise is Yoga Nidra, the deep relaxation exercise. You're going to have to set aside a little time to do this every day, but if you do, I promise you it will change your life and will reduce stress.
A little bit about privacy. All of the modules and materials are covered by copyright laws, so please don't distribute them or share this material on the internet. Also, most of the names used in the examples have been changed to protect the privacy of my clients and the privacy of the contributors. There are a few people that did want their names shared, but there weren't many.
In this module, we'll be exploring not only what is stress, but what stress is to you, the major signs and symptoms of stress, and the major causes of stress. So let's get started. What is stress? It's just too much. It's having one too many things to do and not enough time to accomplish them. Stress is change and pressure, heaviness and indecision. It's just too much. Stress is feeling overwhelmed and confused, angry, exhausted, and depressed. It's a mind full of anxious worrying, a mind too busy and too overwhelmed with negative thoughts. It's just too much. Too much noise and too much media, too much technology, too much sugar. Stress is just too much, and you fill in the blank. It's just too much to manage, and stress feels so awful and it always seems to be getting worse. What does stress feel like to you? Webster's defines stress as a state of mental tension and worry. It's caused by problems in your life, work, changes. Something that causes a strong feeling of anxiety or worry also causes stress. Physical pressure and force.
During times of stress. During times of stress, muscles become tense, the blood pressure rises, the pulse races, and breathing becomes more rapid. The digestive system slows down, so does the immune system. The body prepares for action, for defense, for fight or flight or freeze. Even the blood flow is diverted from the brain to extremities to give the most resources and energy for survival. Our bodies are just beautifully designed for this. But what happens in our modern society where there's chronic stress, or stress is just in your mind? What do? We can't defend against that stress with a swift kick or a quick departure. And that's exactly what most of us are facing today. I was watching a National Geographic show the other day, and they were measuring the stress levels of baboons. It was really interesting because baboon societies are very much like human culture. They only need to eat and forage about 4 hours a day, so the rest of the day they have all kinds of time to get into all kinds of mischief. So basically what would happen is that the dominant members of this baboon pack, or whatever they call them, tribe, they would pick on the subordinate members, and the subordinate members were under quite a lot of stress. So they would measure the stress levels in the blood and do MRIs, and they saw that the poor little subordinate baboons were in quite a bit of danger of stress-related diseases. And it very much mimics our human society, where people that have freedom and power and money have a lot less hormonal stress than people that don't have a lot of choices. Now we're going to look at some of the physical symptoms of stress. This is by no means an exhaustive list, so if you have a few of your own, feel free to include them in your journal. But here are some of the common symptoms of stress: low energy, headaches, excessive sweating, breathing issues like shortness of breath, feelings of suffocation, or rapid breathing. One of the things that a lot of people complain to me about are sleep problems related to stress. So insomnia, waking up, not being able to fall back asleep, all related to stress. Sometimes people, when they're in the middle of stress, feel a choking sensation or a lump in the throat. Very common digestive disturbances, right on the top of the list of stress-related physical symptoms. Other areas, muscular pain. A lot of times when you're stressed, you tense your muscles, and it causes a lot of pain and tension and aches, back spasms, all of it related to stress. One of the big things that will happen with people when they're under a lot of stress is they'll either eat too much or not eat enough. So weight issues, weight problems, all related to stress. Chest pain, rapid heartbeat, loss of sex drive, very common. Frequent colds or infections, because when you're stressed, your immune system slows down, so everything that comes along you end up getting. Ringing in the ear, cold, sweaty hands and feet, dry mouth, difficulty swallowing. And another area, people will clench their jaw and grind their teeth a lot when stressed. So a huge physical symptom of stress is grinding the teeth. Major diseases like cancer and heart disease and diabetes are often caused or made worse by stress. Stress lowers your immunity, which leads to more sickness in general. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a little time to list the physical symptoms of stress that you experience on a regular basis. And if you want to, you can think back to times in your life where you experienced a lot of stress and write some of those symptoms down too. It's for brownie points. So take some time and do the exercises.